Hello everyone and welcome, it's Lainey. So in one of my videos recently I asked if anyone had any ideas with regards to videos that I could do, and one of the suggestions, which was from Caroline Mrs M, she suggested that I do a favourites in terms of films and TVs every month, which I will do. But in the meantime, I had the idea that from that idea, I had an idea of doing like past movies, so like stuff that I may have watched years ago or whatever, but that I think that people should watch. Obviously, my opinion, people always have different taste and whatever, but so I've put together so many, and I can't do it as just like a favourites because I think um, I've got so many over the years. Like, I understand doing a monthly favourites because obviously that can continually change. But I I have like an all-time favourites didn't seem quite right, so I kind of just thought, well, it could be just like a recommendation of films that I've seen in the past, and I may do more of these if people enjoy it. Um, I'll do a few more. Um, because I was going to do them in different sort of genres. So then just pick one from action, pick one from um, comedy, pick one from chick flick type of thing. I was going to do one from each one, and then realised that there's actually hundreds of films in those categories that I actually love. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just do 10 random ones, and they're not in any order of preference because in some ways I think some films are entirely based on your mood. You know what I mean, that sort of thing at times. So like anything from like weepies to action. I think, I mean, the only real sort of genre I don't like is horror. I really don't get being scared, and especially jump scared. I just, it doesn't sit right for me. I don't get why people enjoy it, but each to their own and all that. The intention is for me to, while I'm talking about the film, to be able to put a picture of it here. So hopefully it'll work, hence why I'm slightly one-sided. If it doesn't, obviously you'll know you'll know after this. And if it doesn't, then I'll just put the images in at the end. Um, I'll try not to waffle too much on each one. I'm going to try and sort of keep it down, just give you a little bit of an idea, a bit about each film, and who's in it and things like that. Hopefully this will work. And if it does and you like it, then please let us know and I'll do some more. Okay, here we go. So the first film I've picked is Red, and it's an action crime comedy, really. Um, Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? It stars Bruce Willis, Helen Mirren, and Morgan Freeman, amongst other people. And basically, Bruce Willis plays a former Black Ops agent called Frank Moses. He has retired and he's got this life for himself, which is the peaceful life, as he calls it, and it becomes threatened by some sort of high tech assassin, basically. So he then reassembles his team together and basically shows how you're never too old to kick ass, pretty much. And there's obviously a lot of action in it. There's a lot of comedy in it, and there's Bruce Willis. So what more do you need? You know, I really enjoyed this film, and I've I think I've recommended it to anyone and everyone who listen. So if you haven't seen it, then yeah, have a look and see what you, and let us know what you think if you do watch it. So that's the first one. And the next one is called Concussion, which is a biographical sort of drama, sport-based film. It's based on a true story about Dr. Bennett Omalu. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He is played by Will Smith, and basically it tells the story of how he fights to convince the authorities that prolonged head trauma through contact sports such as American football. It's based around American football, so but I assume others would be the same, and he's trying to create awareness that the head trauma that is caused leaves prolonged and lasting damage that affects them and causes early death, basically. So it's basically his journey from finding this out to and how he does that to sort of trying to fight to create this awareness and support within the American football industry, which you can imagine was probably really bad. Like really hard, I should say, not really bad. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. I love Will Smith as an actor. He is one of a few that I can watch in anything. I think Bruce Willis is like that. Will Smith, Tom Hanks, and there's probably a few others who off the top of my head I can't think of. But really enjoyed this, and I would recommend it to everyone. I hope I'm not going to say that at the end of everything, am I? Anyway, the next one is a classic sort of drama comedy, I guess, and it is from I think maybe about the 80s, maybe late 80s, early 90s, maybe. Basically, it's called Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, and it stars Kathy Bates, who plays Evelyn, or Evelyn. Evelyn? It's an American. Anyway, so it stars Kathy Bates, and she plays Evelyn, and Evelyn is at the time of her life where she's married, you know, she's going through some sort of like just this monotonous life, and she's sick of it, and she meets Ninny, which is played by Jessica Tandy, in a care home randomly. She was there for other reasons, and she basically, Ninny tells her like stories of her past and stuff like that, and it brightens the day and it gives her more confidence, and it's just a really good feel good film, and it's got everything in it, if you know what I mean. And I mean, I you know, I've loved this film for years, and it like I said, it's just a classic feel good film. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. The next one is classed as a musical, probably drama type thing, and it's The Greatest Showman. I thought this was just magical, just one of them magical films. It has great songs, it has music, drama, sadness, comedy. It has everything. It's just brilliant, and it's Based on the story of P.T. Barnum, who is played by Hugh Jackman, and it's kind of like how the circus sort of started, and that kind of showmanship, ringmaster type display, I guess, in the world of showbiz before the obviously invention of television and things like that. And it's just this amazing magical musical phenomenon, really. I just absolutely loved it. It's got everything. Zac Efron's also in it, and a few other famous people that have blanked in my mind at the moment. But it's basically just amazing and has some superb singing and acting performances, so I definitely recommend it. The next film is probably a weepy romance, I guess. It's called P.S. I Love You. It stars. It's basically about Jerry and Holly, who are played by Gerard Butler and Hilary Swank. And it's the story of their relationship, and then how after he passes away, he sends her letters every day, and it's the story of her going through the grief of losing him and how that unfolds. It's a beautiful film. Obviously, it's sad, but it's also such a lovely film. And next we have The Guardians of the Galaxy. This is more sort of sci-fi action type. Basically, Chris Pratt plays the main character, and he's kind of half man, half alien, although he looks human. And he is basically kind of a sky pirate, like a pirate on the sea. He steals things from different planets in the sky, and obviously that gets him into trouble. He has a crew or a team with him who are all very different and just great characters in themselves, especially Groot. You'll see if you haven't seen it. And it's just funny with action and even a little heartfelt at times, so definitely one to watch if you like that sort of thing. So yeah. The next film is called The Blind Side, and it's basically about a boy called a 17-year-old boy called Michael, who has been in foster care and who is basically struggling with life, and he gets helped by someone, and then it shows that he has a talent in American football, and it just is basically about the turnaround of his life from how it was to how it goes, and all that sort of struggle that's involved. It stars Sandra Bullock, and it's just another sort of heartwarming film, I think. It's one that it's the kind of film you don't really have to think about, if you know what I mean. It's not something that you need major concentration on, but that you can watch and you can understand. You don't have to overthink or work anything out or whatever, and it's just a really sweet film. And next is Inception, which is sort of like a dramatic thriller, I would say, maybe. Bit sci-fi-ish, is it? Anyway, this stars, well, this is about Cobb, who is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and he is wanted for his alleged role of the death of his own wife. And so the only way to sort of prove or find out what really happened is by basically entering people's dreams and then bringing out information from those dreams. This film came out in 2010, I believe, and it is one that really requires a lot of thought, but it is really good. I really enjoyed it. It also has Ellen Page in it, and it just really plays on your imagination and how things can actually be in the perception of the world, and in your mind, really. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's really good ending, and yeah. But I find it hard to sort of not end by saying, and I really recommend it, but I don't want to say that on every single one. It just sounds so weird. And plus, I've never done this. I mean, is it Barry Norman? I was trying to think of his name. Barry Norman? Yeah, he used to do the film critic, wasn't he? Barry Norman. I'm going to have to check. The next one is from when I was a child. It came out in 1985, I believe, so I'd have been 10. And yeah, it came out in 1985, so I'd have been 10 at the time. And I just think it is one of the best Christmas films. It's called Santa Claus the Movie. It stars Dudley Moore, who plays an elf in it. And it basically starts back in the 14th century, and it shows the start of how Santa Claus became about, and how, and then you sort of, it doesn't massively stay in the 14th century. It then sort of jumps to the 20th century, and how things have changed, and how I suppose things are a lot harder for Santa Claus and all of that stuff, I guess. And it's just a really lovely Christmas film. It also has John Lithgow in it, who kind of plays the baddie, if you know what I mean. And I just think, if you haven't seen it, you're looking for a Christmas film, and you've got children, or you don't have children, because you don't need to have them to watch it. It's just a really lovely film, and I really believe that the Santa Claus character in this, or the man who plays the Santa Claus character, the way he looks and everything, it's kind of how I always envisioned Santa Claus to look when I was a kid, and so does like Mary Claus, or his Mrs. Claus, looks like how I would have thought that she would have looked. So definitely, it's definitely one to watch before Christmas Day, possibly Christmas Eve, and it's usually on the TV every year, every Christmas time. So it's one to look for if you can't get it any other way. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty cheap now to buy on DVD. And the last one that I have at the moment is kind of historical type war film. Now, although I do like historical, sort of biographical type films, war side of things haven't been ones that over the years there's been very few that I've actually watched. But this one is just a phenomenal film. It's called Hacksaw Ridge, and it is based on a true story about a man called Desmond T. Doss, and he's played by Andrew Garfield, and he basically won the Congressional Medal in honor, or for honor, despite refusing to bear arms during World War II, which was really frowned upon at the time, and to the point that other soldiers would physically abuse these soldiers who did refuse. And he did it out of his own religious beliefs, about and so it tells basically the story of his life and him going to war and what happened, and it's just a brilliant film. It's dramatic. It's I mean, obviously war, it's not going to be dramatic, is it? But it's just got everything. It's just a beautiful film, and it's just a phenomenal film. And you know, I would hope, if you haven't seen it, that you do get the chance to watch it, because it's just brilliant. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much everything. I think I covered 10. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully I did, because that was the intention, to cover 10. If you did enjoy it, please let me know below what your thoughts of each of the films were. If you've seen them already, what you thought about them. If you haven't seen them, and you do get to see them, please let us know what you thought afterwards. If you would like to see more of these videos with recommendations, then please let us know, and I will do some more. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you again soon. Please like and subscribe, and do a little robot dance. Bye.